Okay, good evening to all. Welcome to the second session. So today with us Professor Rajesh. Rajesh sir is working in artificial intelligence and machine learning department from past 2.5 years. Prior to this, sir is having industry experience. So sir is specialized in cloud computing, artificial intelligence and cyber security. uh, Today he will be covering the various some physical servers and some of the important aspects of cloud offering. So this will cover some of the important aspects of Unit 5 in our curriculum. So as you know that cloud offerings are very much essential to know and to work with various projects. So definitely the session will be very helpful to do various projects, and you will get very good knowledge. So on behalf of the department of CSC, CD and CY, and on behalf of all the faculty handling the course IoT and embedded system, so that is from Badrinath sir, Sri Vidya madam and Sindhu madam and myself, I welcome you to the session. Welcome Rajesh sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Please start sir. You can continue.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you. So, good evening, students. So, I'm going to cover the main cloud computing part of this Amazon Web Services. So, the topic given is AWS features, usage, and deployment of IoT applications and Amazon Web Services. So, you all know that cloud computing is booming like anything now. So, you take any applications, you take any industries, the people are complete thing, everything is moving towards cloud computing only. So the main important thing is cloud computing is so you can access the services however you want, wherever you want. So there is the main advantage of that. So I'm just going to cover the AWS features. So these are all the outline kind of things I'm going to explain. So I'm going to give you brief introduction about what is Amazon EC2, what do you mean by auto scaling, what is S3, what is RDS, DynamoDB, Kinesis SQL and all. So briefly, I'm going to explain how you can include all these IoT applications with respect to AWS and how you are going to deploy the IoT applications in this Amazon Web Services. We'll see. So before going to the actual thing, so let me tell you what are all the services that are offered in Amazon Web Services. You take any cloud infrastructure, there will be a three important services are there. So one is infrastructure as a service, another one is platform as a service, and the third one is software as a service. So I'll take one by one. So what is software as a service? Software as a service means the companies that are offering a software that you can make use of the applications. See, already deployed application you can make use of to serve your intentions. So similar way, these people are also offering a platform as a services, which means there will I'll take one simple example. Suppose if you want to execute a Python program, there will be an infrastructure. So in that, again, they'll give you a platform, which means online compiler platform they'll give you. So which means that includes all the applications, data, runtime environment, middleware, even operating system, virtualization, server, storage, networking, everything is included in the platform as a service. And the similar way, you will be having infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure means you are a developer, you can configure however you want, which means you can manage your applications, you can manage your data, and also you can manage your runtime application, which is already deployed in the cloud. So, and even you can create your virtualization resources as well. So these are all the major AWS services that are there. One is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, another one is software as a service. So, and one more thing, so on premise, some services that are available, which means it is apart from whatever the infrastructure, platform, and service. Even if whatever, so suppose if you want any customized applications, you can also ask Amazon web provider to take care of your storage servers. I mean, your customized servers you can build, customized storage you can build, some networking kind of thing. So everything you can build in this AWS services. And the major things that are offered here is, so I mean, you can see over the left side, there are some important services that are there. So one is migration. So which means you take applications. Let us say, for example, you just go and see the application which is running in SBI and Canara Bank services. So some applications, some applications which are already developed using some infrastructure. So those infrastructure, nowadays these people are struggling to migrate from that application, that operating system to newer applications. You go and see some Karnataka government websites as like RTCs, and even in the registration department, you still the servers are running in Windows 2000 operating system. Why? Because you're unable to migrate those applications to a new operating system. So that is the one of the biggest problem in application development. So whereas in this AWS servers, once the application is developed, you can migrate to any operating system. So which means suppose if server is running in one instance, suppose in one machine, you can migrate the same server without affecting its services to another server. So that is the main advantages of migration service. Okay, so in this you can see some four important things, that is AWS Snowball is helpful as to migrate the applications, and AWS server migration services. In this you will be having some services like Apache servers. Let's say, for example, you deployed some web application in some server. So now you want to migrate with that servers to some other thing, means you can make use of this AWS server migration. So which means without affecting your services, without affecting anything, you can migrate. So that is the thing. And one more thing is again your databases. So AWS offers different kind of databases. All those things you can migrate. So the second thing is computing services, which means computing is nothing but Amazon people, they'll provide you uh, some kind of machines. So machines is nothing but like how we have physical computer, like similar way they'll offer the computing services, which means you can make use of Amazon Lambda, Elastic Web, Elastic Container, and AWS Fargate. So all these things you can use to computing purpose. Another one is database. So database services means you all know that. So you can make use of the Amazon RDBS, DynamoDB, Elastic Cache, and Aura services. So using these things, you can store your data. So again, when it comes to database, there will be a different kind of databases we have. So one is structured database we have, unstructured database we have. So which means however you want, you can store your data. Let's say, for example, if you want to build social networking applications, means you can make use of DynamoDB to store your data in some organized manner, and as well as the relational database systems. So like this. Another one is developer tool. Developer means, so this is not something like nowadays what happens in industry, these people are using CI/CD pipelines, which means continuous integration and continuous development. Which means without affecting the actual working system, you can test your applications in the AWS console. So that is the main use of developer tools. So and one more thing is management and governance, which means all these services you can manage by using Amazon Cloud. Let's say, for example, you created Amazon EC2 instance, some Amazon S3 buckets you created. So those buckets you can manage with the help of this management and government tools, the governance tools. So which means we have Amazon Cloud Badge, Cloud Information we have, AWS Config we have, and AWS Cloud Trail we have. So all these are management services. Another one is security and compliances. So what is security and compliances means nowadays? So when we talk about the cloud computing, all our data will be available in public place. Then who is going to protect your data? So again, this security and compliances. So you can restrict your access to your application access to some people, some region, and some IPs. Like that, you can set your own security compliances. So which means security rules you can set, access control list you can set. So all these things that are available. So you can make use of all this component and you can build. So which means, suppose if you want to build an application, means most of the things will be involved. See, to store the database, you need database services. To compute the things, you need a computing services. Okay. Similar way, combination. It's a it's compute won't work alone, database won't work alone. It's nothing but it's a logical combination of all these tools. It means it tools is nothing but again it's a services. So these are all the services that are offered in AWS. And most important thing the people use here is compute and database services and as well as developer tools. These three tools are very, very, very important. So let us take one by one. I'm just going to briefly give you the Amazon EC2 instance service and all. There are n number of services that are available in Amazon. You just go to Amazon AWS console. You can create your own account freely, which is available. So you just go to Amazon AWS console. They create your account by using you can use our college email address and our as well as your personal address. So for students they will be giving 1 year free services. They'll give 5,000 points. You can make use of that 5,000 points to create your applications and all. Okay, so I'll take one by one. So the first thing is Amazon EC2. So Amazon EC2 is nothing but so it is a elastic computing cloud. So this is one of the core services which is provided by Amazon Web Services, which offers resizable computing capacity in the cloud, which means computing capacity is nothing but you can create a machine with having some gigahertz of processor and some the RAM size is 1 GB RAM size, 4 GB, 5 GB, 6 GB, 8 GB like that. Which means you can create a scalable applications here. So some of the key features in this Amazon EC2 is one is scalability, variety of instances, elastics, load balancing, and auto scaling. These are all these things are very 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 important in EC2. So what is scalability? Scalability is nothing but you all know that so you can scale the computing capacity of any machines, which means machine is nothing but just a logical machine, which allow you to scale up or scale down based on your application needs. You can also launch as many as virtual servers as required. So that is the use of this scalability. One more is variety of instances means. So EC2 offers a wide variety of instance types like optimized for different workloads and for general purpose applications, memory based applications, storage optimized applications, GPU based instances. So all these instances that are available in this. And one more is thing is elastic load balancing. Load balancing is nothing but so based on your traffic, you can scale up and scale down your load balancing. Let's say, for example, you take an example like when Big Billion Days comes, when Amazon's festival comes, what happens? Customers will be aggressively looking at the Amazon web applications. I mean, Flipkart applications and all. So in that case, what happens? Traffic will be more in that time. What happens? You can manage the load balance, which means you can distribute all this load to different servers. So that is the main advantage of this Amazon EC2. So Amazon EC2 is consist of many things. Okay, so I'll take one by one what it contains and all. So one more thing is auto scaling. So auto scaling is nothing but so which means based on you can set the time. So in this time you can increase the load, you can increase the traffic, you can decrease the traffics like that. Facilities are available. And what is the most common use cases of this Amazon EC2 means you can host your website in this, which means you can host static website, dynamic website. So suppose if you want to host your dynamic website means you need a server. So you can configure, which means server is already available in some Linux machines. So you just configure the server, and to store the data means you need some DynamoDB database applications or whatever if you want. You even the MySQL also available. You can make use of this MySQL database services, and you can configure you to host your website. Another one is big data processing. So big data processing is nothing but it is called as HPC. Again, it is a combination of your MapReduce. So one more EMR application is, which means Elastic MapReduce tools is also available in AWS. You can make use of this to perform your high performance computing. Let us say, for example, I want to develop one AML applications to process the data. So if you want to do application means you'll be to train the data. If your data set is very huge, what happens? You need more instances to compute your data. So similarly, to train the data means you need more instances to train the data. Again, if you want to after training the data, if you want to compute something, means you will be which means it involves high performance computing kind of things. So in this way, the big data processing is helpful a user to uh, configure their applications. So and as well as workload that you can distribute however you want. So you can also develop a scientific simulation application, genomic application, financial modeling application. Like this, based on your requirement, you can compute. Yes.
Uh, I think somebody is unmuted. You can continue, sir.
Okay, sir. Am I audible, no, sir?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. So similar way, you will be having application development and testing also. See, you can develop your own applications. So suppose if you are developing any projects in this for your academics, you can make use of this Amazon EC2 instance to develop your own applications, which means you can develop, you can create, you can test your application in isolated environment. So that is the major advantages. So before deploying anything to actual cloud or actual servers or actual services, you can test your code in isolated environment. That is the main advantages of this Amazon EC2 instance. And one more thing is backup and disaster recovery. So all your data is backup. So you guys know some RAID models will be there, different redundancy array of disk. This concept will be there. So which means what happens? So you will be having different models based on your application, based on the data which you are using. All this data are backup in different regions as well. So another one is auto scaling. So auto scaling feature is automatically adjust the number of computing resources like your Amazon EC2 instances. So in response, so you can maintain your all applications in cloud monitoring tools, and also you can optimize the cost as well. So that is one of the advantages of auto scaling. So auto scaling involves different types again. So one is dynamic scaling is there, predictive scaling is there. In that again, scaling policies will be involved, multi-service support, health checkpoints and replacements. Everything is involved in this. So what is dynamic scaling? Dynamic scaling is nothing but automatically it's going to adjust the number of instances based on real-time metrics. Let us say, for example, I given a simple example of Amazon festivals. In that case, what happens? You will be having more real-time data, real-time traffic will be coming to the Amazon applications. If that is the case, automatically you can scale your applications in terms of network bandwidth, in terms of computing bandwidth, even in terms of storage bandwidth like that. One more is predictive scaling. So predictive scaling uses machine learning techniques and machine learning models to forecast the future traffic and automatically adjust the capacity in what advance to the predicted demand. So which means when when it comes to uh, the machine learning kind of things, what happens? Automatically, see, suppose if every day you're getting only 100 requests, immediately when festival seasons comes, without knowingly or knowingly or unknowingly, more than 100 requests or 2000 requests, 3000 requests, suddenly there will be a rapid increment in traffic. In that case, what happens? Automatically, some algorithms will be involved. They will scale your applications, which means in terms of computing and as well as storage. So that is main advantage of predictive scaling. You can make use of ML algorithms here, and some scaling policies will be there. So which means target scaling will be there, step scaling will be there, and schedule scaling. Schedule scaling is another important thing. So which means on this day I'll be having Amazon festival means you can schedule the policies and all. And one more is multi-service support. Multi-service support means you can also make use of other applications that are available in Amazon instances. So like DynamoDB tables, Aura replicas. So all these things are, I mean, Aura replicas. So all these things you can make use of in this. So other key advantages, so health check and replacement, which means so regularly it is going to check the health of your applications. If anything goes wrong, immediately it will be notified to the developer so that he can replace the content and you can make your application works 100 bar, I mean, 365 bar 7 into 24 hours. And one more thing is, so what is the use of and how your Amazon scaling was means? It depends on the factors like auto scaling groups will be there, scaling policies will be there, and launch configurations you can make and monitor and metrics. So like this, there will be having different metrics to work with this scaling. So another one is Amazon S3. So Amazon S3 is very important thing. So S3 is nothing but your simple storage services. So S3 stands for simple storage services. So this is nothing but you can store your objects in AWS, which means it is designed for storing and retrieving any amount of data from anywhere on the web. So that is the main advantage. So however you want, you can access wherever you are, you can access the data in web applications. That is the main advantages of creating Amazon buckets. So which means how we are going to create these simple storage services. So which means based on buckets and objects. So which means so objects are nothing but here. So your bucket is having some object. Is something like your folder is having files. No. Similarly, you are going to create the buckets. In that bucket, you can create n number of objects. Similarly, you can create n number of objects. You can create n number of buckets also. So each bucket is having its own access control list. That is, it depends on again the developers. So what is bucket and what is object? Bucket is nothing but it's a container to hold the objects. So objects are nothing but your files, images, whatever, the videos, audios, everything you can consider it as an object. So one more thing is storage management. So how we are going to store the management, store the data means. So there will be a lot of storage classes involved in this. So S3 standard is there, intelligent tiering is there, infrequent access control is there, S3 one zone is available, and S3 deep archive uh, facility is also available. So storage management is nothing but once the object is created, immediately the content is not available to user. Why the content is not available to user? Because background many process will be involved in this, which means before that content is available on web, it creates the replica of that object, which means some backup will be created. So after creating the backup only the data is available to user, and we don't know where the data is stored. It depends on the applications. Maybe one of your data is available in one hard disk, some other data is available in some other hard disk, which means it is a combination of virtual hard disk. So like that you can manage the storage as well. And another one is access control list, which means you can control your access, your object access you can control. And data transfer and retrieval, this is most important thing. You can transfer all your data however you want. So that is the main advantage. So which means like suppose if one server is having some data, if that same data is required in some other servers means you can transfer your data from one server to another server, which means one from one storage server to another storage server, you can transfer the data. And so this at the same way you can retrieve the data. Then how you're going to address the buckets in Amazon? So like they'll be having three different types. One is virtual host style is there, path style is there, and one more canonical form is also available. So like this. So virtual host means, so see here one image.png which is created, which is under Amazon AWS.com under this thing, which means my bucket is my website. I mean, this is my bucket which is created using S3, and US is nothing but this is the region which I created the application. So it depends on suppose if you can create the access control as I told, this particular application is only available for US people or UK people or only for Indian people. So like that you can create the region as well. So it depends on that. depends on the region. You can also create the applications. And path style, which means you can see here, this is the path s3.us, same region. So Amazon AWS. So my bucket image.png, which means in this bucket I created the image. So like this also you can create, and one more canonical form is also there. So like that. And how you are going to access the AWS control? So you have S3 management control and direct object access control. So you will be having these two tools to access the Amazon S3 services. So once the object is created, you're supposed to manage the object using this management control. If possible, I'll try to create one simple application and show you how this Amazon S3 services works. And next thing is Amazon RDS. RDS stands for Relational Database. So I think you people are already studied. Uh, I think you people studied some database management system content. So what is relational database? Which means it will be having like you can query the queries, like you can retrieve the data from multiple tables. So in that case, relational database services will be involved in this. So what is the main key feature of this Amazon RDS? So here all your services are managed, which means AWS handles routine database check like provisioning, patching, backup, recovery, scaling. So all these things that are available in this Amazon RDS. And what are all the multiple database that are available in Amazon RDS? So this is important thing. See, Amazon Aurora is there. So which means it's a MySQL platform kind of thing. So PostgreSQL compatible with relational database, which is built in the cloud. So which means this application you can make use to create your MySQL queries. You can make use of all these queries to create the databases. And MySQL, you guys already know this is open source application. So you can also make use of this MySQL database services in RDS. At the same time, PostgreSQL. So this is an advanced open source relational database. So you can write complex queries. This is the actually this is huge database kind of thing will be involved, like querying of applications. Querying of the data. Anything is involved in this. So this is a like you can write queries like page wise you can write the queries. So that is how this complex database is built in this. And one more thing is MariaDB. So this is also MySQL community which is developed to support Amazon RDS services. And one more thing is Oracle. So Oracle applications also you can use. So how you people are using Oracle client and server application to create your uh, relational database. Similar way, logically you can create your database in this Amazon RDS. And one more thing is Microsoft SQL servers. So SQL server, which is also a flavor of Microsoft, which is available to manage all your enterprise applications. So next thing is Amazon DynamoDB. So this is a very important thing. So you people may be knowing this DynamoDB this thing. So this is called as NoSQL database. So which means to access the data, no query is required. Then how the data is stored in this? So your data is stored in the form of key value pair and document model. So what is key value pair? It is similar to your Python dictionary or your JSON files. So which means there will be primary key which is involved. Using that primary key, you can access all your value pairs. So that is the data model which is available to access your information in this DynamoDB. And one more model we have is documented model. So document model supports complex data structure with nested attributes, which means this supports your JSON file format. So JSON file format means you will be having some attribute to access the content. So it's something like a class within a class. So likewise, you can write the JSON files. So using some attribute key, you can access the content which is available in the JSON files. So this is called as document model. So in these two way, your DynamoDB works. And what are the common uses of this DynamoDB? The common uses of this DynamoDB means you can create your web and mobile backends. So mobile means some applications will be involved now to store some simple information. You can make use of this uh, Amazon DynamoDB. And one more thing is gaming. So gaming means uh, if complex data is not required, if you want to store some minimal information, you can make use of this DynamoDB. And major important thing is IoT applications. So IoT means you will be having some edge devices. So you can collect information from edge device and store it information in this Dynamo. So that is the main advantage. And this is a real-time application. So you can do real-time analytics using this DynamoDB. So how you are going to integrate this DynamoDB with some other application, we'll see. So one more thing is Amazon Kinesis. So Amazon Kinesis is a set of services that offered by AWS that enable you to collect, process, and analyze real-time streaming data. So real-time streaming data means there will be different kind of data which is available in real time. Let's say, for example, I want to develop an application to do some precision agriculture. So precision agriculture means continuously you're going to monitor the humidity in the soil, and you are going to check the environment temperature. So what is the temperature in your land? So if that is the case, what happens? So real-time data you're going to analyze. So how we are going to analyze the real-time data based on this real-time kinesis application? I mean, which involves real-time processing, scalability, durability, and data consumers and all. And one more example, I can see you the air pollution control in Bangalore city. So air pollution control means you can see in Sundays and Mondays, Saturdays you will be having less pollution. Monday morning you will be having high pollution in the city. How we are going to monitor real-time data? So some sensors which are involved in collecting the data, it collects the data, then that information sent to Amazon Kinesis. So that data is stored in Amazon DB. Later, that data you can access to do some processing, real-time processing. Okay. So how we are going to process the real-time data? So which means it ignite process the data in real-time space. Whenever the data arrives into that application, immediately process and it gives you the result. So one another thing is scalability, which means however you want, you can remove the devices. You can add the devices. So like that, and as well as uh, you can scale your applications like and it is durable also. So once the data is stored in this database, you can retain till 1 year. So that is the main advantage, and you can also build some custom applications that process your AWS SDK data, like how you are going to use Firebase and all. No, similar way you can use Kinesis data, Firehouse data, and Kinesis data analytics for further processing. Which means you can access the data using some applications. I'm talking some of these applications which are already available in AWS. So that data is stored in DynamoDB. So that data you can access and process, and you can create the different consumers as well. And what are all the real-time use cases that are there? Real-time log processing, event tracking, and analytics. All these things we can do using this Amazon services. So next thing is simple queue services. Simple queue services which involve scaling of your microservices. So this is important thing. Let's say, for example, if you want to run any microservices, you can make use of the simple queue services application tools. And using this, you can decouple and scale the microservices. You can create distributed system and serverless application. So serverless application is very, very important. Nowadays, some of your applications that are running in serverless. So which means the physical server is not at all required. So using this simple queue services, you can create your applications. So some common uses of this Amazon SQS is decoupling of microservices, which means SQS enables microservices to communicate asynchronously by sending messages in a queue. So which means these data which are stored you're going to process the data with respect to the microservices that are. And next thing is task queues. So SQS enable us to manage the tasks that need to be processed asynchronously. So synchronously also you can do, and as well as synchronously also you can do. So one of the best application of this task queues are nothing but your image processing, email sending, data processing. So all these things involved in this task queues. And one more thing is buffering of requests. So when acts as a buffering between incoming requests and the backend processing, so it ensures that your application can handle variety of loads, which means once the load comes into your application, it will store your data in the buffer. So based on the availability of resource, it is going to distribute your load to different machines. So that is the main advantage of this buffering request. So how you are going to manage this load balancing and all means based on the simple queue services. So see, this is how all these tools are involved in AWS. This is all this tool won't work alone. Standalone is you can create, but if you want to create a complete application, means all these tools are involved. Okay. And one more thing is the very important thing is distributed system. Distributed system means suppose you created some 10 EC2 instances. You want to communicate with all these 10 EC2 instances means this AWS simple queue services will be. So you can create multiple distributed systems. Let's say, for example, you want to create an application to process your image. So image and video, audio will be having bigger in size. If you want to process data, you can make your data into different chunks, then send your data to different machines. Like it's nothing but distributed. Your data is distributed. Computing is distributed among different EC2 instances. Later, you can collect the data and you can process the data and take a result from all these EC2 instances. So that is how the AWS simple queue services involved in distributed system communication. And next thing is elastic map reduce. So as I told that this involves your big data analytics. So AWS EMR help you people to implement map reduce kind of applications. And some frameworks that are available. So you can make use of Hadoop framework, Apache Spark, and Apache HBase, Apache Flink, Presto, all these frameworks that are already available. So which means you just write the code, give the input, and take the output. So that's how it works. You can also create your Hadoop applications using this Amazon here. And the multiple framework that suppose here is, as I told, all these things, Hadoop, Apache Hadoop is there, Spark is there, HBase is there, Flink is there, Presto is there. So all these things. So suppose if you are using HBase application, you can write you can create real-time NoSQL application for your database. And also you can access the objects randomly in large data set. So this is how this Amazon EMR is in. And one more thing is the important thing here is Amazon IoT core. So which means how you are going to manage your IoT applications. So it involves two different management tools. One is AWS IoT core. So this is helpful to establish the connectivity between devices and the AWS. So which means this is called as device connectivity and management. This allow you to securely connect your device and establish the message between one standalone IoT device to your cloud. So, and one more thing is device shadow, so which provides persistent virtual representation of each device. You can create the device however you want, virtual devices you can create. Suppose one camera you installed in some physical area, you can create a logical instance of that device and then you collect the data and then store your data in some applications. So that's how it works. And this also involved a rules engine. So what is rules engine? Which is helps us to propagate and route the data from IoT devices. You can set the rules, which means regular interval time I want to get the data from this device. Like that you can set the rules. Say every 1 second take the data from that device, or every 5 seconds take the data, or every 10 seconds take the data, or every intervals of every 1 day, every first day 9 hours you can take the data. Every for 1 day, 10 hours you can take the data. Like that, you can set the rules. This AWS IoT core concept. And second thing is AWT IoT device management. So what is AWT IoT device management? Which means this is the onboarding and organization of device. We suppose device registration, organization, and group management. Suppose I have a device like camera, then how I'm going to organize the device, how you're going to register device with respect to IoT means. So this service will be involved. So first, what you have to do, you have to connect your device to internet. So automatically it won't happen. You have to configure. So how to configure? You'll be having management console. So so you take any network connected device. So that device is having some MAC address. Once that device is connected to internet, what happens? Some dynamic IP address will be assigned. So again, there will be a challenge in that. So one thing is you can assign dynamic IP and as well as static IP. If static IP is involved, so configuration is very easy. If dynamic IP is involved, means again you have to with regular intervals of time you have to check whether the device is connected or not. Okay, assume that you have a static IP address that is assigned to a device. What happens? It is very easy to register your device into this AWS IoT device management. Okay, so how you are going to devise again? I told you every device is having the IP address and as well as MAC address. Based on that device MAC address and all, you are going to identify. You are going to create some virtual object in this AWS IoT code. Once that object is created, it's nothing but virtual representation of that each device. Okay, in that device you can manage whether the device is online, whether the device is offline or not, and similar way you can create a group of devices also. I told you a simple application of precision agriculture. Precision agriculture, you want to monitor the soil humidity means you're supposed to place the soil sensors in different area, like 5 by 5 meters or 10 by 10 meters or 50 by 50 meters, like that. Once the devices are placed in that land, what happens? So you can group the devices and make it a single group, so that once you can collect the data from the same group. That's how you can onboard the devices. And one more thing is over the air update. This is called OTA. OTA means you can update softwares remotely. So as you can see, your smartwatches, mobile phones, and all. When new version comes, what happens after the downloading? You can update the devices. So this is called OTA updates. On the air updates you can do, which means that application software which is available in some online devices or maybe in some other devices, you can take that updates, install, then you can use. So which means this is called a firmware upgradation, you can say, or from firmware updation. All these things you can do using this OTA. And another one is fleet indexing and research. This facilitates searching of devices based on the device attributes. So what is device attribute? Device attribute may be it depends on how you are going to identify the device. So there are different ways. I told you, using MAC address you can identify the device. You can give unique name also, like object names you can give. Based on the object name you can access the device, and you can also set some attributes. Attributes is nothing but like dynamic IP you can set, some dynamic name you can set, some group you can set. So based on this, you can access the device. This is nothing but fleeting and indexing of the resources, which means you can also take the status, whether the device is online or not, whether the device is capable of sending the information, or whether the device is capable of receiving the information. So all these things you can do it in this fleet and index. Okay. So this is all about your IoT core, and I'll show you a simple application, like how we are going to create the uh, you know applications in Amazon Web Services. So I'll share my screen. Yeah. See, so this is the home page of my Amazon Web Services, Amazon AWS console. So I already logged in here. See, this is what I told. See, this is called CloudWatch. So CloudWatch is nothing but you can see what are all the services that are running in my Amazon console. So as of now, no services is running in this. I'll come down. See, I created some buckets here. See, I have S3 buckets, which means this so many objects I created. So and the capacity is like 273 bytes. I mean, in terms of units. So like that it is created. So all these things you can see here. So that is the use of CloudWatch, which means all the logs you can see in this CloudWatch. See what are all the services that are running, what are all the objects you created, what are all the pipelines you created, what are all the simple queues you created, or any tools that you used in Amazon Web Services. All these things are available in this. Okay. And I told you one simple thing is Amazon S3. Amazon S3 means so in go in search bar or else in services you can search. So CloudWatch is available here. S3 is available here. Console is available here. EC2 instance is available here. So when I click on this EC2 instance, so you can able to see what are all the instances that are running here. So as of now, no instance is running in my console. So I created some, see, this is key pairs I created, some elastic IPs I created. See, using this, you can create your own, instances. Okay. So, and one more thing is, I'll show you the S3. Amazon S3 is nothing but simple storage services. You can create the object. See, see, this is my bucket. So you can see I have 4 buckets in my Amazon account. So one is RVCE new bucket is there, new demo bucket is there, my AWS RVCE bucket is there, and Elastic Beanstalk. This is connected one. Okay, this is connected to some other applications. Okay, that's how it is involved. So which I created on March 14th. So all these things you can see. See, in this new demo bucket, when you click on this new demo bucket, so you can able to see different images. So I created one JPEG images. You can see this. So just click on this Amazon exe. Just copy the object URL from here. Okay, click. Just go to your uh, you know web browser and just simple hit enter. So which means you can able to see the image. So this image is present in Amazon S3 bucket. Okay. Then how to create the images like this? I'll show you the simple way to create the Amazon S3 bucket. Simple thing I'll show you. Okay. So just come back to the Amazon S3 homepage. In this, you will be having an option called create bucket. So when you click on this create bucket, so here you give your bucket name. So I'll create my bucket demo 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the bucket which I created now. Okay. And see here, you're supposed to enable the access control. Otherwise, you cannot able to see the information. So, and one more thing here is block public access setting, which means you see if you enable this, what happens? You cannot able to access the object from public. So disable this. Okay. Click on acknowledge. Bucket versioning, if you want, you can disable or else you can enable. So all these things are there. Just click on create bucket. Oh, this is already exists. Let me create new bucket. New RVCE. Okay. CSCL. So click on create. Okay. So now new RVCE bucket CSC is created. So I created only bucket, but no object is added in this. Okay. How to add this bucket? So see here you have an option called when you click on this. So now new RVCE, I came into this console. So here you create, if you want, you can create folder. or else you can upload the object. So how to upload the object? So objects are nothing but you can add files or you can add folder. So how to add file? So I'll click on add file. See, I have an image. So this image I'm going to add here. I'll click on open. Now what happens? Skylight kitchen extension. This image is ready now. So just click on upload option. Wait for the okay. So now upload is success. So which means I created the bucket and I uploaded the file. And how to see this image? Okay. So you just come back to close and come back to buckets. See here, new RVCE bucket is there now. Click on this new RVCE bucket. And here you created, this is the one which you created. So click on this. Okay, here object URL is available. Click copy this URL. Go back to the URL and then hit it. See, it is showing access denied. Why access denied is showing? I have not created the access control list. I just enabled the access control list, but not created. And how to do that? So just come back to permission. So here see whether the object access control list is created or not. Yes, here read and write option is created. So no need to do any changes. Back to the buckets. Okay. So here what you're supposed to do means just select this. Okay. So now I want to make this object public. So this object is available. See here when it comes to action, what happens? You can make this access control as public. Here one option is available. When you click on this, what happens? So you are making this object public. Make public. Now the status is changed. Now you come back, refresh. See, you're able to see the image. So that is how this is how you can create the bucket. So which means how you got this image? I got this image using this object URL. So you just copy this object URL, go to, I'll just close this. Uh, 1 minute. Okay. So now just take one new tab, click this copy option, which means object URL is copied. Go to new tab, it will be hidden. So you're able to see the image. See, this is how the object is created inside the bucket. Okay. So this is new RVCE bucket is nothing but this is my URL. Okay. Under this, I created with southern region within this Amazon.com. Skylight Kitchen extension.jpg is my object name, and this is the URL. So using this URL, I'm able to access this image. So this is how your Amazon S3 buckets works. So similar way, you can create n number of resources here. So if you want to create instances, you can create instances. Console home means, so when you click on this, you will be having all the applications and recently visited tools. So everything which is available. And suppose if you have taken any what you call billing cost and management. So all this information which is available in this. If you want to use some applications, means you can purchase the applications and that. So this is how your Amazon EC2 and Amazon Web Service helps us. So there are a lot of services that are available. When you click on the services, see you can see n number of resources here. See, robotics is there, quantum technology, you can create database is there. So when you click on this database, see you having document DB is there, DynamoDB is there, Elastic Cache is there, MemoryDB is there, Neptune is there, RDS I told you know, this is C, this is also there. And suppose if when I come to computing services, see I told you AWS Hopper is there, Batch is there, EC2 is there, EC2 Image Builder is there, Elastic Beanstalk is there, Lambda, AWS Output, serverless application repository. I told without a server you can create some applications now. So using some microservices, so that option is also available. So this is how your Amazon Web Services are involved in creating the applications. So this is all about the information about this AWS. Hello, sir. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Sir. Yes, sir. I just
Okay.
concluded the talk.
Okay, sir. Okay, students, any questions? If you have any questions related, you can ask. You can unmute and ask.
If you have any question related to this, you can ask me. See, within 1 hour, I cannot able to cover because this is a huge topic. That is what only I can just give you the brief information that what are all the things are there in AWS and all. So this is minimum one and a half year is required to study this entire AWS tools.
Students, any questions?
Okay, sir. I think no one is having any questions.
Okay, sir. Can I conclude it, sir?
Yes, sir. Please.
Okay. Okay, sir has explained various AWS services, features, and applications. Definitely, it will help a lot for various project implementation, and also sir explained with the practical demonstration. Definitely the students will make use of this, and also with your permission, we will share this recording to the students.
Sure,
So
sir.
definitely be helpful a lot, sir. Even I learned a lot from this session. Really, it is a excellent session.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you very much from the department side and all the faculty side. Thank you very much for sparing your time and for taking this session. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.